This is the UGREEN DXP480T. And if you're used to watching content on my channel, you're probably thinking, that's a funny looking drone. But no, obviously this is not a drone. This is a network attached storage. You see, inside this little box are 4 NvMe drives. And the network attached storage takes those drives, forms them into one big bundle of storage and makes it available either over Thunderbolt, USB, or 10 gig Ethernet. And the reason I'm showing it to you on the channel today is I want to give you a behind the scenes look into how I manage the frankly massive amount of data that has to move back and forth between me and my editor Fabio in Switzerland when we are shooting and editing videos. The other reason that you're seeing this on the channel is that Fabio and I felt that having these would really speed up our workflow, and they're very expensive and we didn't want to buy them out of pocket. So I reached out to UGREEN and asked if they would send them to us in exchange for a review video. So this is a sponsored video in that we got these for free. I haven't gotten any actual money from UGREEN, but if you look up how much these cost, you'll definitely feel that there was some financial incentive here, and that's up to you. With that being said, let's bring into the video my editor, Fabio Pansera, all the way from Switzerland. Hi, Fabio. It's good to have you here.
Hi, Joshua. Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm not very often in this channel with my face, but yeah, it's an amazing opportunity that UGREEN gave us and, of course, that Joshua gave me.
All right, let's tell them about how it has worked up till now. I finished shooting a video, and how big is a typical project for us?
Well, of course, the actual file size can vary, but if I should say an average between the projects that are mostly 150 gigabyte and some projects 400, I would say 250, 300, but sometimes it can get quite heavy.
Okay, and then I put it in my Dropbox folder on my PC and it uploads to Dropbox. Where does that break for you, and where are you hoping that this NAS can improve it?
The QNAP NAS I have relies on mechanical drives. So while they can be somewhat of good performance for most of the people, the issue is that with the files that we have with a very high bit rate, because we shoot in 10-bit and color and 4K, and at a pretty high bit rate, I would say, to keep the maximum quality for post-production. The issue is that especially when you have a multi-camera setup like we do, there are multiple streams of videos going on at the same time, not to mention Premiere cache files. And when you scrub through the timeline, what happens is that there is a lot of random read and write on that drive. And mechanical drives are not so good at that. Actually, it's pretty unusable. So what happens in the end is that I have to create a local copy of the files and, work locally. Which is ironic because the NAS is sitting right there. So technically it's local already, but not local enough. So yeah, I have to basically copy everything again on my computer. And that takes time, despite the fact that that NAS is equipped with a 1 gigabit Ethernet port that is connected in my network, where it's connected also the laptop.
You know, another problem that you've had with the NAS is the noise. You tell me that you sometimes can tell when I'm uploading footage because you hear the drives. You'll be like having dinner with your wife or something, and all of a sudden over in the corner, the NAS just starts going tick, 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 tick at the drives, and he's like, oh, Bardwell's uploading some footage. And then it gets really distracting for you. So I know that you are also hoping that this is cooler and quieter than the standard hard drives that you've had so far.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This happens quite often, actually, and it's actually became like kind of a running joke between me, my wife, and sometimes my friend, especially when I have friends over and they are sleeping on the couch because, well, it opens and everything. It's a nice bed, okay, but not the point.
Enter the UGREEN NAS that will hopefully solve all our issues.
I wanted to make sure that I would be able to actually edit off of the NAS. So the NAS has different ports you can connect to, from just an HDMI, which supports, by the way, 8K, as it is a 2.0, to one USB-A 3.2 Gen 2 port, and most importantly, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports. So one might think, well, amazing. I will just connect my laptop or my PC straight into the NAS, and I'm gonna use it as is. No. Unfortunately, no. This is due to the fact that the Thunderbolt port are host-only mode, so not device compatible. To make it simple, basically, you can connect additional hard drives or devices to the NAS. The NAS will be able to read off of them. The NAS will be able to connect to them, to talk to them, but you cannot use the NAS as a hard drive if you connect your device. I do have 2 other options, which is the Wi-Fi, because this NAS is equipped with a Wi-Fi 6E, which is pretty damn fast for like 90% of the use case scenarios, but unfortunately I'm on that 10% and I cannot afford to have latency or jitter while I'm editing, because of course then you have the same issue with the playback and the smoothness of Premiere. This left just one option, which is the 10 gigabit Ethernet port. And if you have a computer or a Mac Studio or a Mac Mini or whatnot that does have a port with 10 gigabit Ethernet, that's amazing. You just plug it in, you are right into the system and everybody's happy. This product is the MikroTik CRS 304 4XG and it has 4 10 gigabit Ethernet ports. Exactly what I need. So one cable will go through the switch to bring the internet, to bring basically everything. One port will be used for the NAS, one port will be used for the MacBook, and one port will be used for my gaming PC. And that's amazing because like this, I can use the full 10 gigabit connection that this NAS is capable of, and I will not have any bottleneck, and I will use the actual NvMe speed that these NvMes can provide. Speaking of the NvMes, I decided to go with the Lexer NM790, and I chose a configuration of 4 terabytes each, and they are M2 2280, of course. And I decided to go with these because despite the fact that they are Gen 4 and not Gen 5, which is the latest, it's pretty much useless to buy a Gen 5 because the NAS just doesn't use Gen 5, so I decided to go with the Gen 4. As a general rule, when you choose an NvMe, beside the PCIe version, you also should check, which is important for our use case, to have a NAND chip in this. Pretty much all of them have them now, but just check on that because it's kind of accelerating. Imagine it like a RAM memory within your NvMe. It's great for random read and write speed and so on and so forth. Pretty much any NvMe's that you choose is gonna be a bit overkill because even for us that we do mostly video editing, so it's very intensive on the drive, these are blazing fast. Like it's something stupid. I have to read it out because of course I won't remember. It's 7,400 megabyte per second read, 1 million IOPS. Like it's pretty much ridiculous. You know that RAM is very important. And this NAS comes with a very respectable 8 gigabyte of RAM in DDR5, and it's expandable up to 64 gigabyte of RAM. I wanted to max it out to have the greatest experience ever, but thanks to the market situation and the fact that RAM went like ×3, ×4 as the price, I decided that stock works for me, and actually, thank God I didn't do it. More on that later. Okay, so we connected everything. Everything is working. Everything is in the same subnet, and now we just have to place it in a nice place, and for the first time, turn the device on. There are a lot of videos explaining very deeply about every single option, every single button that you have to press to set up the NAS, but I don't think that you want me to talk about it for 15-20 minutes like other videos do, because they are meant to be a guide, and this is not. So once the setup is done, what you have to do is to, for the love of God, do those updates They are important. I had an issue. It was very noisy. The RPMs of the fan were not set up with an amazing curve, and I was scared that this was going to be not as noisy as the other NAS, but noisier than I wanted to, because I now have it on my desk where I work, where I watch my YouTube videos, where I chill, where I game. So I don't want it on my desk anymore. And then I was like, Fabio, you didn't update it. Let's see if it's fixed. So once you pass the first phase of kind of creating the account and you access your homepage of your UGREEN NAS, you do need to create volumes. And the volumes are, well, basically they are your drives and how they are configured. So of course, there are different type of RAIDs. RAIDs are the way that via software disk drives are joined, and 4x4 is 16, so technically you would have 16 terabytes of storage. However, most of people that run NASes, they prefer to do a RAID 5. RAID 5 basically takes out one of your NvMEs and use it as a backup. So if you do lose a drive, it's corrupted or it's burnt or whatever happens, like it can happen. This drive will have a copy of the files that, a portion of a copy actually, of the files that are in that drive. So until you lose more than one drive, you are safe. You can just take the drive to use it as a backup and substitute the one that is faulty. So 4 times 3, we're going to have 12 terabytes of actual space that we can use. And they're going to be treated as a unique volume. Another nice feature that you have is the app for the phone itself. The app is amazing. The app is basically a way that you can choose what to back up from your phone automatically, only when in Wi-Fi or even with mobile connection. Every time that you take a picture, every time that you take a video, you can set it up to be sent straight away. You can set up schedules, you can set up a lot of things and keep your phone free. Be sure that you can access your stuff pretty much from anywhere. Just a small example, I have a lot of company documents, I have a lot of scans from my passport, my documents in general, driving license. If it happens that I lose my driving license and, I don't have to look for my phone, in my phone for the photo, but I can just access my server, go in the folder that is called documents or scan of documents and find it straight away. And it saved me more than once, actually, with the police or maybe with the administration and the municipality where I live. And they were always so impressed that I had everything handy. And that's something that, of course, you can achieve with the cloud, but this is local. You have it, nobody touches it, nobody sees it, it's yours. Using it as a media server is also amazing. Like, imagine just connecting it to the TV and being able to have infinite, not infinite, but close to it, infinite library of content available for you in every part of the world. As long as you have a good enough connection, and the connection at your place is not your house, I mean, it's not down, you can access pretty much anything, including very high quality video stream from anywhere in the world. I'm really shocked at what it can do. I never had this connection, basically. And it's been 1 month now that I tested. It seemed like I'm editing files off of my laptop. Mission complete, I guess. I feel like it's over-delivering, which is a very nice thing when you spend more than $1,000. But it is worth it. It is worth it. As Joshua will tell you later, you can still buy the mechanical drive ones. They have a great processor there as well. It's much more friendly for storage purposes, more than fast enough for a media server. Unless you need this, and if you need this, UGREEN has very valid alternatives and options for you. I can't recommend it enough. It does what it says it does. It does above and beyond that. I never ran into an issue, and yeah, what else can I say? I mean, would I buy it if I didn't have it for free? Yeah. knowing what I know now, personally, yes. Everybody has different, expenses and stuff, but it solved everything for me. And, I don't have any type of anxiety or, just get nervous as I used to do before. And it saved me a lot of time between copies here and there.
As we've gone through this video, more and more, I've started thinking that maybe I'm wrong to insist on doing this with Dropbox. Like, I've used Dropbox for years, and I'm paying like $500 a year for Dropbox because I have like 3 accounts. It's a pro subscription, and basically that's the only way to get the amount of storage and the kind of features that I want out of Dropbox. And frankly, with the amount I've spent on Dropbox, I could have bought this NAS instead and had it sort of self-contained in my house instead of on the cloud. And then all the work we had to do to synchronize Dropbox, it would just be NAS to NAS and everything would be great. Obviously, there are advantages to a cloud-based platform. Like, getting this working behind my firewall and being able to access it would be a little bit more tricky and a little less seamless than just having Dropbox out there on the internet that I could always access. But there definitely are advantages, like if I need more storage, I can just put larger drives in it, whereas with Dropbox, I have to kind of repeatedly pay for that storage. So I'm actually thinking about maybe ditching Dropbox entirely and just going with this thing. As we saw from Fabio, this is more than capable of, like, it just puts out so much data. Editing 4K streams straight off the NAS over Ethernet or Thunderbolt, it's fine. As long as you have the internet connection, it can pump as much data pretty much as you can imagine. It definitely gets the job done there. It is quiet. It is cool. It is pretty freaking amazing for what you get. And frankly, all the user interface stuff really impressed me as well, all the apps and so forth. I am annoyed that we had to spend hours and hours solving the problem with Dropbox, but I do acknowledge that that was a pretty edge case. Is it an edge case? A lot of people out there have Dropbox teams. Well, anyway, we found the solution. And the ability to set up the Docker container was also pretty freaking impressive. If you are interested in picking up this exact NAS, there are links in the video description below to where you can pick it up. And I also want to point out that they have a version of this NAS that uses standard hard drives, and it's a lot cheaper than the NvMe version. Now, it is hotter and louder, but maybe that's okay with you, and it still has all the other functionality. So I'll put links to both of those in the video description below if you're interested in picking up. And thanks again to UGREEN for sending us these, and now we have them. And thanks to you for humoring me while I do completely off-topic content for my channel just because I want things for free from sponsors.